Okay, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to tonight's edition of Coffee Stations. I am your host, Tanya D. Walker, and tonight I have my friend, I am pleased to say my friend, Cherese, and that's what she told me to call it, Cherese, and she is an amazing woman of God, number one, but before I go in and allow her to introduce herself, I just want to first thank her for being a part of the show. And we're going to get to it. You know, I have to give this disclaimer. We are both women of God, but this is not a Christian show. So be ready for straight talk, real talk, just some plain old girl talk. And tonight we are talking about what women want versus what they need. And because we are who we are in Christ, we will surely give you a biblical perspective, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be hot. It's going to be sassy. It's going to be all that, a whole bunch of laughs. But at the end, it's going to be real serious girl talk to get us from a place of brokenness, number one, to take us to a place of wholeness and get us in a place to where we are real women and we get to deal with what's going on internally with us, the struggles that we deal with. And so now that I've said enough about the show, let me go ahead and allow Cherese to introduce herself, and then we'll get ready for some conversation.
It is such an honor to be with you tonight, Miss Tanya. It is wonderful. It's so hard when people say, just tell us about yourself. It's just so hard. You know, I'm originally from Michigan and I moved to Houston about 11 years ago. And, you know, I love people. I want to see our sisters delivered and healed and set free. I'm a mom. I love to cook. I love to roller skate. You know, I'm a woman of God, as you say. You know, I love to shoot pool. I just love people, and I love being around the whole fellowship of the joy of just seeing people smile, if that makes sense.
It does.
I've been doing relationships on Facebook for about 4 years now. You know, God has taught me a lot. You know, I've been through a lot. It's just, like you say, tonight is just about, let's talk straight talk about, you know, what women want and what they need. And I know it may get a little raw, but the truth will set us free.
Yes. So listen, while we're on the conversation, and I'm not asking any questions, we're just having girl talk. And so, you know, today, this is the month of love. This is Valentine's Day. Everybody is, especially today, you know, it's Valentine's Day. Everybody's in this mood to be loved. But what's really happening in this season where there are women with no dates, where there are women who are not with somebody, they are either going through a place of depression because they don't feel like they're loved. They are going through, some of them in some instances, maybe even suicidal because they were in relationships and those relationships ended right before, or, you know, months before Valentine's Day, and now they are in this place by themselves. And so I won't really talk about that. I want to talk about the woman who, you know, is out there and we look like we have it all together. We, you know, we have our ruby woo on, we have our nice hair snatched, we have on this stuff, but what do we really want as women? And so when I give thought to that question, you know, you and I have talked about this a lot over the last couple of weeks. What do we really want? And do we really know what we want? And so I start to think about, what did I want from a guy, right? And I remember in the house that I was raised in, my mom used to always say, make a list.
Yeah.
Make a list and tell God what you want. Be very specific. Be very specific from the top of your head to his feet. Everything that you want in a man, be very specific.
Yes.
And I did that, but I didn't get what I put on my list. I never got what I put on my list. And so tell me, like, what do you think? Because I know I knew I wanted, because I was raised in a house, in a family, I would say. I was raised in a family where the men were 6'9".
Right.
My great-grandfather was 6'9". My uncles were 6'7" and above. My brother was 6'3" in the 9th grade, you know. And so here I am, 5'2". And so every guy that I liked, they had to be 6'9". Fortunately, I got I didn't get the 6 9s. I got the 5 4s. I got the 5 5s, but is that something that we really want? Or, that's what we want versus what we really need in a man.
Yes. Yes. For me, I started out right in high school. I got married right out of high school at 18 years old. So, 18 months of marriage. I had my son, Chris. We didn't know anything about being married. So that only lasted 18 months. So I want to say I never really knew what my checklist was, if that makes sense. Because after that divorce, I'm 20 years old, 21 years old, and men are just everywhere. I was in the military, so I was around a lot of men. So I never really had a checklist because I really didn't know what I wanted. It was like, he short, he tall, he dark, he light, he got hair, he don't got hair, all of that. It was just chemistry. For me, it was chemistry.
Go ahead.
If we get along, if we can laugh together, if we during that time we were young, and I say our young dumb days, if we were sexually compatible per se, that's what it was for me. It wasn't until I actually got saved, I guess, and I understood that you can have someone that's ideal. And I didn't understand that. During that time, I wasn't saved. I was just doing my thing. So I really didn't have a checklist. And I thought about it, I was like, I think I kind of like darker skinned men, but it wasn't like a preference, like I just had to have them. It was kind of like,
and see, I had to have it.
Yeah, it was chemistry for me. If we get
So
along.
chemistry, I did some research today, and chemistry is the number one thing that women want.
Okay, yes.
Chemistry is the number one thing that women want in a relationship, and they say it's based on attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to say that can they carry a conversation? I was big on that. Can you carry a conversation in the public? Do you know subject verb agreement? That was me. I was very pretentious that way. And then they say, how in your conversations, how do you make me feel? I didn't think about that part in the relationship when I was dating. Chemistry for me, when you think about it, chemistry number one was sex.
That's what it was.
Chemistry was never how you spoke. And when I became a mature adult, chemistry became how are you speaking in public? Do we jive together in public? Can you speak well? Can I take you somewhere with me, or can I go somewhere with you without being embarrassed? But when we are in, our young dumb days, or even our old dumb days,
yes,
right? Because we've got some old ones and we're not all the way right and tight. But it's chemistry for most people is, can he make me feel good in the bed?
That's it right there. If that's the chemistry, that's what it was. We didn't understand that it needs to have purpose. It needs to have a goal. It needs to have a vision. I mean, all of that comes into as I get older. Okay, I'm 51 years old now. What I wanted at 20 and what I want now is totally different. We have to go through. It's like we go through these stages, and you are absolutely correct. Chemistry was sex. If we could get along good together, then everything else fell into play. If that makes sense, like you look good because we can get down, and I can overlook some things because I don't want to miss out on the intimacy that we.
And honestly, it wasn't intimacy. When you look at it, it was never intimacy. It was the feel. Come on, be real. It was the feel good. It was never intimacy. We didn't know intimacy. We didn't know how to fall. We didn't know anything about love. We thought a good lay was love. Come on. We thought a good lay was love.
Because many women did not have their fathers in the home. We were, unfortunate to not have him present in the home. And so when we get out in the world, we are looking for someone to fill this void. So like you're saying, if the sex is good and we are doing this often, then I feel that through that sex, you love me.
Come on.
Men can have sex with woman after woman after woman after woman, and he's not emotionally connected to you. We can't do that. I don't care how women say how tough they are and they can jump from bed to bed. You are connecting with this man emotionally because we're receivers. So you
We
can't
are receivers.
and say you don't get attached.
We are emotionally tied. We are nurturers by birth, by genetics. We are nurturers. We were born to nurture. Men were born to hunt.
Yes.
And here we are. We step in the place of men becoming hunters, right? And but it goes back to, it was never about the chemistry. It was always about, how does he make me feel? And I'm gonna say, is it big enough? Is the girth long? You know, all of those things really made us think. And like you said, as long as it was good, the relationship was great. And oh, he loves me. When he is so detached from you, emotionally, he's okay with, he can lay with you this morning. Come on.
Yes.
And lay with her tonight.
At lunchtime and somebody.
But you were still tied to the emotion because you wanted chemistry and didn't know what chemistry was. You thought you wanted chemistry, but let me tell you what I wrote a couple years ago.
Okay.
In this, what we do as women, when we look for chemistry, and I just found this today, we try and replace non-tangible things with tangible, non-tangible. We try to replace tangible things with non-tangible.
Yes.
And so non-tangible things, check this out. We want affection. The tangible thing is the affection. So we want the sex, but we're not replacing it with the non-tangible, which is the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna go both ways. I'm gonna vacillate between the two. The tangible, it happens even when we eat food. Like we think we want ice cream or potato chips, but in actuality, there's a void that we miss. And so we call that thing chemistry. We call that thing safety and security. Oh, I need safety and security, but you don't know what it is.
That's right.
We don't know what safety is. So one of those other things they talked about is they wanted a man who was vulnerable. This is a top 10. They wanted men who were vulnerable, who were willing to show their hurt. In a conversation that I had earlier, that was one of the things I counseled. And I said, you have to be able to show her that you are vulnerable. You have to show her, she knows that you can take care of her. She knows that you can provide for her. Yes. That's what we need that.
Yes.
We have to know that you are vulnerable and that you're willing to say, you know what, I hurt.
Yes. Yes.
We need to know, because that's the nurturer in us, to say, I heard that you hurt. And how, honey, can I help you? And I'm not talking about single girls, because we're going to talk about us single girls. This is in a relationship, a God-ordained relationship. Don't get it twisted, girls, because I'm going to talk about us single girls. But in a God-ordained relationship, we want to know that you're vulnerable.
Yes. And most men, when they have that wall up, it's because they've been taught to be that way. Don't let her see you cry. Don't tell her all your secrets. You know, she's gonna try to use you, get over on you. You know, men have been taught to just be protectors and providers and covers. Don't be vulnerable in front of this woman, because she's just going to take it for granted. She's not going to appreciate you. And so you have these men who really want to express themselves to the woman they're in love with, but they have somebody in the back of their mind or someone in their ear that has told them that if you do this, then you're going to open a door to this woman, and she's going to have all this control over you. As they call it, you'll be whipped. You know,
listen, and you're exactly right.
Because this woman is controlling you. No, we need to see your sensitive side, because to me, that shows me that you can understand my sensitive side. So if I you with an issue, you won't tell me just woman up. No, you're going to let me cry. You're going to let me have my moment, and you're going to minister to that to me at that time. Don't tell me just to woman up and I'm hurting about something, especially if it's something that you did to me.
And here's the thing. Sometimes we want in you being vulnerable, because we do want you to be the man. We do want you, and I'll get to this one later, assertive. We want you to be assertive, but in the vulnerability, right? We want you sometimes in your vulnerability to remove the masculinity. So when I'm having that moment that you just talked about, that you don't open your mouth, that you just sit back and let me baby cry on your shoulder.
Yeah, let me baby cry.
And just allow me to be consumed by your strength. Because if I can be consumed by, oh, I feel it, baby. If I can be consumed by your strength, then I'll at that point, I'll know that everything is everything. If I don't have anything else, because you've shown me that you are not necessarily weak, because you said, because people would think you're weak. You're not weak because you're showing me that because what God said, in your weakness, I'm made strong. So when you show me that you're weak, it's saying, you know what, I got you, I'm human, I vibe with you. And yes, that hurts you. So I'm going to be hurt because you hurt.
I'm going to be hurt because
I hurt because you hurt.
And what you're saying, LaTanya, is let me be a woman. Because we say that the men go out here and they face the world, and the world is whooping them and beating them up all day long. So when they come home, they just want the softness, the tenderness of their woman. They don't want to come in and have another war with us. Well, you know what? We are living in a society now where women are going out too. They're running companies. They're taking care of kids. They're doing all of this stuff. So when she comes in too, sometimes she didn't have that kind of day too.
Right.
So you need to lean on you and just let her be a woman.
And that's another one of those points. Yeah, that's another one of the points. You hitting on the points like big time. Because in that, the part about being treated as equal. So now we didn't went to another point in being treated as equal. We need and want to be treated as your equal.
Right. Yes.
And so, because you just said it, women today are making the same money, if not more money, than their spouse. Can we still, women, can you still treat him as your equal? Can you still treat him as your superior, as your husband, as your priest? But husband, if I just happen to make more money than you,
yes,
I need you to respect the fact that that's where God placed us at the time. That's where we are at the time. It doesn't take away who you are as a man. It doesn't say you're not the head of the house. I don't stop coming to you for guidance because you are the head of my house. You are the priest of this house. But this is just how it's set up.
And you know what, LaTanya? Women have to get back to the original blueprint.
Come on.
The blueprint was that the man is the head and the woman is the helpmeet. She helps him in the vision, the kids, the building of the home. She helps him.
Yes.
And to get back to that, we got so many beautiful sisters that just feel like they the man, and they're not going to submit. They're not going to surrender. They're not going to do anything. And what you're saying is, if I'm making, $200,000 and he making $160,000, then I feel like I got this head over him and don't know how to come to him as a woman. You feel like you have to control him and tell him what to do because you're making more money. That doesn't honor God. God said that man is the head, and God doesn't change his mind. So even if you're making more money, you're still not the head of your house. And until we get that back in order, we're going to see a lot of women not getting what they need.
Yeah. Or even what they want. Because sometimes what you need is what you want. Does that make sense? Sometimes what we need as women is really what we want. We want it, but we don't know how to get it. And it's something that God has really placed. It's something that we really need, but we have not allowed him to give it to us because we want to take control. We as women, the same vulnerability, we need to be able to feel vulnerable. We need to be able to feel, like we're treated as equal, but we need stability, but not necessarily secure. We want stability, but we need security.
We need the security.
We want stability.
We don't like to feel like the roof is lifted off of us and we don't have a woman don't want to come home and be worried about if she gonna eat, if the light's gonna be on, do she have, most women, we need that security. We need to know you got this. Even if we're going through rough times, even if we having some valley moments.
So that's
you to be the man.
So that's the stability.
I'm not going to stay right here. We're going to get out of this. Then I got you. I'm with you. Yes, we going to get out of
So
this.
you didn't hit by 12 points. So you didn't hit by 12 points. Listen, on that first one, we talk about we need the security. We need to know when we come home, if we're going to give you, if we're going to relinquish our right, because we are now, we've submitted, and then we've surrendered, because you got to be able to submit to surrender. Yes. Okay, so so that's in the security part. We need to know when we come home, the lights are on. We need to know that the mortgage is paid. We need to know whatever deal we brokered, because this is what it is, whatever deal we brokered before we got married, if you the one paying all the bills, all them bills gonna be paid. But in the stability part, we need to know that when they're not paid, you're not gonna go off the roof. You're not gonna go on an emotional roller coaster, brother, and come on, fly off the bridge.
Yes. I got you, and we can go to the valley, we can go to the mountain. He knows that I got him, and she needs to know that you're not gonna give up. That that because men, they have some breakdown moments, and they need that support of their woman. They need to know, hey, I said this about, I think it was last week. Someone posted something about, if a man gave you, $3 to get your nails done and $2 to get your hair done, because at one time he was like rolling in money, but now he's lacking in those areas, would you still be appreciative? And most women were saying, ain't no way in the world, I wish he would give me some $3. And I said, you know what, it's amazing that at the time that he was on top, he was giving you everything, but now that he going through this moment, you saying, and I said, don't you know mentally in a man's mind, he already broken down that he's not on that level right now. So why don't you take that $3 and that $2, add some money to
and make it work,
and bring that
be
man
resourceful
home a gift, because mentally he want to know that you still got him. Even when he can't give you the best of the best that he used to give you, he just want to know that you still appreciate the small things.
Come on. I'm listening to you, and here's what I hear in this conversation, and I love it, because I'm talking about what we need as women, but you are, when I say you like 1,000 for the brothers, you are 1,000 for the brothers. So brothers, if y'all are listening tonight, she is literally 1,000 for y'all, and that's a good thing, because what I will say about this whole conversation, because we are hitting all the points like 1,000, because in that, what you just said, we want to know that you trust us.
Yeah.
But as a man, they want you to be loyal.
Yes.
They want to know that that $3, you know what, baby? I was on top. Come on, I was on top. We want you to trust us. We want you to trust us till it don't make sense, and trust our opinion, trust what we say. When we say, baby, you know what? Because God gave you to us, or us to you as a helpmeet. So when we see stuff that you can't see, husband, trust the fact that he opened my eyes. Because for some reason yours weren't open. So trust when I say, baby, that's not the right thing to do. Do that. But a woman, we supposed to be in this place where when that brother don't have a $3, when he was rolling in dough, am I still gonna be loyal to you? Because that's what he needs.
Why he getting himself back up. Now, if you just lazy and you just gonna lay around the house and you're not trying to get yourself back there, then that's a whole different story. But if I see you going out every day and you are working, but you may not be at the job that you want right now to get us back to where you was, I gotta still support you, because for that goes into our needs, what a woman needs. After that man had laid everything out for you and you having a fit because I need my hair done, I need my nails done, I need my feet done, I need a car need to be washed.
You better go be domestic, girl.
Adding more on his plate, because sometimes as women, I think sometimes we can go over the top and we can drive men away because we don't know what we want and we're not satisfied with what we have. Does that make sense?
Here's the thing, because it goes back to our initial the initial point. We don't know what we need, and we take a need. We don't know. Let me make sure we take a want and make it a need.
Yeah.
We want our hair done and we make it a need, because if you were a domestic woman, You know how to get or a resourceful woman, you know how to get your own hair done. You know how to do your own hair. You know how to do your own nails. You know how to do your own feet. So when things get tough, you know how you have something to fall back on. But see, that's the thing about us as women. We don't want to learn we don't want to be domestic anymore. We'd rather have, and there's nothing wrong with having a maid. There's nothing wrong with having a house, right?
Yes.
But do you know how to clean? There's nothing wrong with if you have it like that to have a chef to come in your house. But can you cook? In the event, and here's what I know, like we want the big house, but we just need a stable house.
Mm-hmm.
We want the 6'9".
Mm-hmm.
We want 6'9". We want them dark chocolate, not milk chocolate, Lord, not vanilla chocolate, Jesus. We want, Father, in the name of Jesus, we want 6'9". High time. We want 6'9", but that's what we want. But what if God placed in front of you 5'10"? What if he placed in front of you 5'6"? What if he placed in front of you, 5'4"? But 5'4", 5'6", 5'10" got the full package. They have everything that you said you wanted in a man, that you needed in a man. He treats you well. He treats your children well. He honors you. He relishes you. Yes. But because you missed that one thing, are you going to say, I ain't want that?
Yeah, it's that non-negotiable.
It's non-negotiable.
That checklist that has not worked for you yet, and we still hang on, and we still hang on to this checklist that these men got to meet. And so far, every time that you got what you wanted in the checklist, it didn't work out.
Yeah. Come on, because
you can get the ideal 1 through 10. I mean, every single thing. But I told a woman before, I said, listen, we want these 6 figures, 6'6", and all of this. I said, and those be the ones sometimes that have that narcissistic spirit. They abuse you because they feel like they've arrived. They don't know how to come down and humble themselves. They have so much pride that they don't treat you right. Yeah. But then you 5'10" that you say that got the full package, and he loves you unconditionally, but because he's not at the checklist of what you want, then you don't want him.
And here's what I know, because I was that girl, and I shared with you, I grew up, and I shared here, I grew up in a family, not necessarily my house, but my brother was 6'3" in the 9th grade. He was tall. Mm-hmm. My great-grandfather was 6'9". All the men, my great uncles, they were 6'6" and above. So they were all tall men. And so I grew up thinking that's the kind of man I want. But you said something really key. I wanted 6'9", right? Mm-hmm. But every time that was put in my face, it didn't treat me right.
It didn't.
I wanted 6'9". God kept giving me what I needed.
Yes.
He kept giving me what he knew I needed. But I kept going for what I wanted. And that's because I never sat down long enough with him to understand what my want and my need was. The difference between the two, I could never really determine, was my want really my need?
Right, yes.
I started to misunderstand what I really wanted, what I really needed, right? Because I didn't know what I needed. I didn't know that you didn't have to be as tall, right? Because in the bed we're the same size. Mm-hmm. In the bed we're the same size. I didn't know, that I needed you. You didn't have to be as dark. Who cared?
Yes.
Who cared? Now, I still do need you. I will say this in my vanity, Lord, help me. I do still need you to have decent teeth, and I still need you, Jesus, to have great speech in the public.
All of your teeth. Have all of it.
I need you. That's what I need. I need that. I need that. I need that.
I believe that God desires in our heart. And sometimes I think we don't know what we need till we see it.
I don't even think we know that we need it when we see it. Because let me tell you, God said something to me. God said something to me, and it was so profound. It was like, I showed you. I was like, that ain't my type. I showed you what you do. And I said, that ain't my type. That ain't, Lord, that's not what I asked you for.
Yes.
because me and God, we had this thing, we talked. We
Yes.
had this conversation.
Yes.
That's not what I asked you for.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, but I gave you what you needed.
Yes.
Oh, no, I'm giving you what you needed. Not gave me. I'm giving you what you need. You won't get it until you're at your best, until they are at their best. I will not give you my best if they're at I will never give my best to somebody that's at their worst, but I'm giving you what you needed. And here's another thing I heard Dr. Tony Evans say, because what we do as women, because we think we need something, we go out and we compromise the plan and we become the hunters. I'm a hunter by nature. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a hunter.
Yes.
I'm going to hunt so far. So when I hunt, that's the need in me. I want to hunt. I want you will know that I'm available. But after you know that I need you to now pick up. That's when the assertiveness comes in. I need you to be assertive. I need you to say that I want you to. I need you to say that, that I need you to not be a whim.
Wow. And something too, a lot of women are not used to spiritual connections. And what I mean by that is we get in these relationships, and when we're mishandled in these relationships, we judge every next relationship based on the last one that we had. Yeah. So we connect with men physically and we connect with them emotionally. But when God sends what we need and what he ordained, that spiritual part and that mental part scares us. Yeah. Because we're not accustomed to it if we've been in a series of relationships or marriages and ended in divorce where we were mishandled. Yeah. And we don't know how to receive this spiritual man that's connecting to our spirit, that's getting foresight and insight from God about us. It scares us.
So here's what I said to God in that, because you're absolutely right. We're so used to connecting chemistry with physical, right? Mm-hmm. We're so used to calling chemistry physical, thinking that's what we need. And so when God begins to present that to you, I'll sit back and I'll say, I don't want that.
Yes.
Because so I ended up saying to God, listen, and this was real talk. God, listen, I need him to have, and I was serious. This is my conversation with God. Yeah. Okay, God, I'm not going to be so critical on his height, but here's what I need. I need him to know how to handle me.
Yes.
In the bed and outside the bed. I need that. So God, whoever you send to me, I need him to be able to handle me in the house and out the house. I need him to be able to handle my personality, because I have a different type of personality. I have a bold personality. Do I know how to humble myself? Yes. I've learned how to be submissive. Mm-hmm. It's not easy, but I learned when I got married the first time how to become submissive. I know how to surrender. I know how to say I'm sorry. So I need you, God, when you send him to me, I need him to know how to handle me so he don't hurt me.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
I need him to know how to handle me so that because I'm gonna get out of order, because that's just my personality. I'm gonna need him to know how to look at me.
Yes. Yes.
And with that look, Lord, I know how to sit still.
Yes.
And straighten my back.
And even if what he says may hurt me,
come on. Let him know how to handle me with it.
How to not make me feel degraded in his correction.
Come on, in his correction.
A man could correct you, but he does it in such a way that you love him more than feel offended by his correction.
Let me tell you, this is so funny. This was about 4 years ago. I was dating a guy, he's a Christian. We were out in Atlanta and hanging out with my girlfriends, and I smoke cigars when I feel like it. And we were out and we were smoking cigars. And I remember us being in this place, and he's sitting with his back to one wall, and I'm sitting across from him with my back to the other wall. And I remember getting a cigar that I did not like. It did not smoke the way I needed it to smoke. And so I finished it, but I didn't like it. So I didn't, and whatever. And so I remember my girlfriend's guy that she was with, he was like, come on, LT, let's go and get another cigar. So I get up. And as I'm getting up, I turn, because I'm walking to go get this cigar, and I notice the look. This is what I tell God: I need you to know how to handle me without handling me.
Right.
I get up and I turn and I look, and I see his face. I just see the look on his face. He gave me the look. Wow. And I politely sat down and arched my back.
Wow. Yes.
That's it. You didn't have to say another word to me because I got you, right? I turned around, I sat back and I arched my back. I didn't open my mouth, I didn't pout, I didn't do anything, because what he said in his look was, not tonight, that was enough. And I respected the fact that he caught me and he knew me enough to not mishandle me in the public, but to do something to get his point across. That's that stability that you don't become emotionally detached where you go off the chain. You don't need that. So I needed that. And so that's what we look for as women. Guys, if you're listening, we need you to be able to give us that look.
Give us that look.
We need you to know. And not, go ahead.
I had to grow into this. This had to drop on me through the years, because I'm very, everything was defensive for me. If you said something that I didn't like, I felt I had to defend myself against what you were saying. So telling me I could not do something was like, what? Whatever, and I was not trying to be disrespectful, but I just felt like I'm grown. You can't tell me what to do. And I'm talking about even in a marriage. I think that one of the problems that me and my ex-husband had was that we would do this all the time. It was conflict, it was that tug of power that between us, even though I felt that I was submissive in many areas. It was like, if you say something to me and you don't say it the right way, then I interpret it as, okay, you're not going to talk to me like that. Okay, no, I'm going to do what I want to do. No, you can't tell me, all of that. And so I grew into this, okay, if you're going to correct me, just do it where I don't feel belittled, where I don't feel degraded. I can accept correction, but it's how you say it and how you do it. So God had that. What if they don't say it the way that you think it should be said, but it's still correction and it's still done in a loving way? So I had to learn that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Again, it goes back to what we want versus what we need. Yes. Because we as women, we are in position where we have, and especially African American women, we have been taught that we are independent women. We have been taught, I know I was, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and keep moving. Don't, go and get it, go get it. Yes. That's what you're taught, go get it. I saw my mom work all the time and was an independent woman. And so you become strong and tough. And so you feel like you need a man who can do these things. But in actuality, what we really need as women is to first, we have to know us. As we get ready to wrap up, we got to know us. And many of us don't know us. We know who we were taught to be. Mm-hmm. We were taught to be independent women. We were taught, in some instances, depending on when you grew up, what era you grew up in, to be submissive and to, do whatever. We were taught in some instances, because I remember my great aunt, she asked me years ago when I got married, she said, did you marry him because you loved him, or did you marry him because he could take care of you?
Wow, that's powerful.
And I said to her, I married him because I loved him. And she said, next time marry him because he can take care of you, because you can learn to, You can learn to love. She said, I've been married, but that was the era she grew up in, right? And she said, I've been married to your uncle for almost 50 years.
Wow.
But I learned to love him because that's who God sent me.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we get to that place, of course, we have to have real chemistry, not the sexual chemistry that brings about soul ties. We have to have it, that the one, because it's the outer that we see first. We see the outer first before we see the inner of you.
Yes, we do.
So
yes.
That's the real chemistry, women. It's not the physicality in the intimacy that we think we have. It is the natural chemistry that when I see him, I'm like, yeah, that's that one, you know.
Yes,
That's my, I see myself out in the public with him. I don't have to put a paper bag over my head, and it's real talk, because there are some of us, we know women, there were sometimes y'all put a paper bag over your head. Okay, anyway.
You see somebody, you done already walked down, you done already went and got the dress, you done already walked down the aisle, you done already house, you already done seen the kids. I mean, it's like all you do is looking at this man, your whole future. Really?
Yeah.
That's what we do. And I wrote that down to identification, what you just said. Yeah. If we don't know who we are,
we end up
to really know what we need, because identification, who are you?
Yeah, when we don't know who we are, we end up with.
Yes.
When we don't know who we are, when we have not, and this is what my mom used to say. I grew up with a mama who was straight talk, real talk. She didn't give a care what kind of talk, right? And she would say, when one of us dated, or one of our friends dated, and they ended up with a dude immediately, she would say, you didn't give yourself a chance to get to know you again because you needed to up your bag.
Well, mother.
Because you needed up your bag. You didn't get to know you. Come on. Yeah. That's real. That's how I knew after a relationship, we need, when we are in these relationships, and they are not, because every one of them, if they're not God ordained, and even if they are God ordained, they sometimes go awry. If we don't, if we don't end up with the one that is our life partner, you need to give yourself time to heal. That's what we need.
Absolutely. You need to do a relationship analysis. Every relationship that you come out of, endure, whatever, even if you decided that you was going down side chick road, if that's your thing that we want to bring you out of, you still need to do an analysis on yourself, because you need to find out why you keep ending up in these relationships. And if you had a relationship that was successful, but it ended, for some reason, and you talking about 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you need to sit down and you need to analyze what happened. You need to identify it. And the reason is you don't want to repeat it again. What did I do? What did he do?
And here's why we repeat it.
Yeah, we got to do an analysis. That sounds crazy, but when you start getting 30, 40, 50, and you're single and you desire marriage, or you desire, we say marriage, but some people, we got to be real. They're not going to get married because they don't want that. They'd rather just have a companion, or they'll just be in a relationship. They'll cohabitate together and shack and all of that. We want them married. We want them to do it the right way, but many of them probably will not. That's just being real.
And a lot of us, going back to what we want, what we need, we don't necessarily know what we need because we took, and I'm going back to the tangible, intangible, and the wants, and we misconstrued what we want versus what we need.
Yes.
But that comes because of what you said in the very beginning of your statement. You mentioned soul ties. As we get ready to wrap up.
Yes.
We want, right? We want the husband.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
I don't know a woman. I don't know a woman who don't want to be married.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know that. Every woman that I know has a desire. And what I do know, women, if you have a desire to be married, That's because God placed that desire there.
All women.
He placed, because some women are called not to be married. But if you have a desire to be married, you have to know that you will be married, but there are some things you have to do. And so a lot of times we can't get married because we have soul ties, because we've taken chemistry and we've misunderstood what chemistry is, and we've allowed sex to define what our chemistry is. And so now when that chemistry is dead, now you've connected in a soul tie. Now we have to go through, we got to go through ridding ourselves of all these soul ties, because now you want a man, you need a husband, you want a man, but you can't get him because you're so attached to all these other things.
Yes.
Bringing all, because he could have sent you a great guy, the guy that you needed. Yes. But because you're so dysfunctional, because you have all these issues now that you brought on Jesse's crazy family.
Yes.
You brought on the schizophrenia from the mama in them.
Yes.
Because, all of these things that you do, every time you attach.
That's right.
Every time you attach yourself. And this is the deal. We're going back to what you said again. We are emotional creatures. So every time we allow somebody to go into us, we pick up that emotion.
Yes, we do. We pick up everything about him.
Yeah, and you want to know why you can't get a husband, you can't keep a husband. You want to know why you still acting like them? It's because they are connected to you. You got to go, so you want a husband, but you can't get one because you got 25,000 other spirits in you. Because one man can, come on. So every time you let a man go into you, woman, come on, unmarried woman, God, Jesus, every time we allow that to happen, because it's happened to me.
Yes,
it's happened to me, and I'm not so high and mighty to say it didn't happen when I was a Christian.
Me too.
But you have to know that you got to break that. If you want what God wants for you, say you want a husband, you want this, you want the intimacy, right? You want the intimacy. You want to be treated as an equal. You want them to know that you exist, that your emotions are there. You want them to know, you want to be vulnerable in front of them and them to be vulnerable. You want these things. And I'm going over this. You need security. You need, protection, right?
Yes.
But you can't get all of that because you caught up with 1,000 more.
Yeah. Yes.
You caught up. So he's trying to give you all of what you put on a piece of paper.
Yes.
He's trying to give you your list, but because you're so connected with all these other people, you keep missing it. And so now you don't know if you're getting it all wrong. You don't know if you're misunderstanding your want and your need. And that was a conversation I had today, that they were so discombobulated that they no longer knew that what they wanted or needed. And they thought, at this point, I truly believe I don't know what I want anymore. I don't know if my want or my need are now starting to intertwine with each other. Yes. That's why women, we get caught up in these relationships, because we have failed ourselves, because we didn't get to know us at the end of a relationship. We didn't get to purge after the end of a relationship when they hurt us. But what did you do?
You take responsibility for the part that you played. It is never, the breakup is never one person's fault. Never one person's fault. It's both faults. Whether you let stuff slide and you didn't say nothing, or they were doing whatever it is, it's both of the fault of both of them, and you got to take responsibility. We sometimes want to blame everything on him, and we don't want to take accountability and responsibility for the part that we did. Even if we allow some things to slide, you're still accountable for that.
Yeah.
So I say, know who you are, know what you want, and know where you're going, because a lot of times we get in these relationships and we have no purpose for the relationship. We just want it. Why do you want it?
Why do you want it? Why do you want to be married? Why do you want to be in a relationship? Somebody asked me today, and I get this question asked a lot, right? But it was asked of me today. Well, it wasn't even asked, it was said. Like, I just can't believe that you're not dating, that there's nobody that you're dating. And my response was, I'm okay, I'm good.
Right.
When you get to a place when you're okay and you're good, not to say I don't have lonely days, I
Right.
don't have those moments, but when you get to the point where you can say, I'm okay with being okay right now.
Yes.
It doesn't take away my want or my need of what I want in a guy or even in myself. But in this time that the guy, and we need, this should have been a part one and a part two. But this is the place that God has me in right now. Because here's what I say to women. What's that thing I get to do now, single, what I may not be able to do married?
Right, that's true.
I get to fast. Listen to me. I get to fast as many times and as many days as I want, because as a married woman, I can't fast without my husband's permission. Because he might want to get it.
Yeah.
He might want to get it, and I'm fasting.
Yeah.
Come on.
You know what? One of my spiritual mothers in the past, she said, go get him what he want, and then go in there and wash your face, put that oil on, take a shower, and get on back on the consecration.
So as a single woman, this is the most, so when you, as in your single, in the state that you're in, because the Bible tells us to be content in the state that I have you in right at that moment.
Yes.
There is something that you're supposed to be doing. So in that, you get to know, in the meantime, while you're waiting on him, get your credit up. Get your game up. Come on, learn what you need about you. In the meantime, while you're waiting in your place of being single, learn what you really need, how you want him to touch you, because you may not really know, because how the other one touched you might not have been right. And so, baby, I need you to touch me here. And come on, I'm real. So now when it comes time for me to have this man, I know what I need from you.
That's right. That's what we gotta know what we need. We have to know
and I'm not placing something on you. Listen to this. I'm not placing something on you that I can't put on myself.
Or that I can't give you.
Come on, because here's the thing. I may need you to take me on a trip. I want you to take me on a trip, but can I do it for myself? All of the things that you want a man to do while you're single, that's what you're supposed to be doing right now, so that when you come together in this union, you don't come in. And I said this on a counseling session today. I don't care. See, this is when you know what you want versus what you need. Because when you go into a relationship, a godly relationship, even if they don't give you 100, you're still supposed to give them 100.
You're still supposed to give them 100.
You're not supposed to go and see, when you know what you want, when you know what you need, when you go into the relationship, whether they give you 100 or not, it is your risk. You're not supposed to go in looking for them to give. You are supposed to be the giver.
My God, that's
a relationship, and that's what we miss. I'm supposed to go in and not looking for him to give me love. I'm supposed to know how to love myself and know that God loves me.
Yes.
I'm not supposed to look for him to do anything. I'm supposed to go into that relationship giving my everything.
Knowing that God has.
Or not, I'm supposed to give my everything, because what will happen if you, and now we got Bible, what will happen, as they said in 1 Peter 3, that at some point, what you do, he'll eventually turn.
Yeah.
He will eventually look at what you're doing, and if he is a man of God, he'll eventually turn his way.
Yes.
But we don't know what we want. We don't know what we need. And so we go into this thing putting pressure on them to do something for us that we are not willing to do for ourselves.
That's right. I agree.
We want the best husband. We want the best neighborhood. But are you getting your paper up while you're waiting on him?
That's right.
Because I was told a man want an investment. They want to go into that thing as an investment. So do you know how to clean up, lady?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to cook?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to give the best massages? Come on.
Because there was a time that men was like, they used to let that slide. They don't let that slide no more. Now, what you bringing to the table? I know I got my bank account, my house, my car. I know how to cook. I know how to clean. How to take care of my.
Because they can get, look here.
What you bringing to the table now?
Because they can get that when they can't eat.
Huh?
They can get sex when they can't eat.
Yeah, so he was now men that you become domestic again, that you What do you know how to cook? Do you know how to clean? Do you know how to maintain this house that I'm putting you in? You know, men want to know. It used to be a time they let that slide, but they don't do that anymore. Not many of them. Many of them that are looking for a wife, they're doing exactly what you're saying. What are we bringing to the table? You don't have to have the same status as me, money, car,
But
house.
you better have the same drive as me.
You gotta have equal investment.
You better have the same drive as me.
The
You
same
better have the
drive.
same tenacity as me. Come on.
Come
On. You may not have the same money.
What are you investing?
Yeah.
What are you investing?
And that, you know, I came from a house and we're done. My mom, I promise, she would say, you can get that when you can't eat, baby. So know what you want. Know what you really want in a person, because if you can't get anything else, you can get that. You can go down the street and get that.
Basically.
Come on. It's bigger than sex. What we need, men, listen to us. Because I know some of you have said to me that it's bigger than sex. You want substance in a woman. It's not about the big booty and the smile anymore. You want a woman of substance. You want a woman who you can put on your arm and take. We know that. I know that. Women, they want somebody. We have all these things that we want in them, but they want a woman too, depending on the kind of guy you got. They want to make sure that you can put on a nice gown and look like a lady. They want to know that you can be a freak in the bed and a woman that, come on, it's real talk. They want to know that you can handle the pressure. Yes. And don't let them be a man of power. They want to know that you are secure enough in who you are, that when another woman comes in my face, that it ain't just a woman that's trying to sleep with me. They want to know, we need a man, because here's what I need. I need you, man, to know how to pray for me.
That's right.
I need that. I need that. I need that. I need you to know how to pray for me.
Yes.
You don't have, I need you to know how to cover me. I need you to know how, that's what I need you to know how to come to me. You look in my eyes and say, you know what, girl, it's going to be okay.
Yes.
We talked about that, but they need the same thing. They need to know that you got them, that you're praying for them.
Yes.
And that you are stable enough to know that just because a big booty and a smile come their way, don't mean and even if he look, because he's a man, don't mean he won't it.
And you're not there just for image. We got to get past the image of perception of everyone else. He really want to know that you're not behind the scene sabotaging what he's building. Everything looks good for everybody.
We talk trust, loyalty.
When you go home.
Yep, it's all trust. It's trust and loyalty. They want to know that you are ride or die.
Respect.
Ride or die.
Yes.
So listen, because we can go on and on and on and on. And I promise we should have cut off, did one segment and started back and did another segment, because we have gone again over time. And I think that's what we're going to do, is cut off on one section and go. But listen, I have enjoyed this conversation. I don't feel like we got down to the meat of the matter. And so we will have a part 2 of this, because I know that we didn't touch the surface. We kind of vacillated between, what they want, what we want. And I do know that we did hit some great points, but to really get to the point of the insecurities and why we are the way we are, that's something that we need to talk about. And so I'm going to say thank you so much for being a part of this second episode, What Women Want Versus What They Need. And guys, we took care of you tonight. We did not male bash you. We did not go into any crazy, hoopla to make you feel bad. So we hope that you enjoyed this episode as well. Cherese, do me a favor, tell everybody where they can find you. Also, and I'll say this really quickly about her. She has, and I don't have it with me because I was going to fan it, but she has a great book that I got the other day that I'm going to read. And I knew she was my type of person, because she wrote something in there that I say all the time. She talked about sugar daddies and side chicks. And so she has this great book, Order in the House. She just published this book a couple of months ago. Do me a favor. Go to her website. She's going to give you all that. Go to her website, get the book, Order in the House. I am always supporting an author, because I am a burgeoning author. So any book that I see of somebody that I love and trust, I go get their book, even if it's just to show support, because it matters. So do me a favor, guys, go get her book. Order in the House. And so now I'm going to give it to her so she can tell you how to find her.
Well, you can locate me on Facebook. It's facebook.com, cbarconia, CBARCONIA. I'm also on Instagram at I am Cherese Henry. That's CHERESE Henry. The book is on Amazon, Order in the House. The website is under construction right now. We're redoing and revamping everything, just a whole new brand. But you can find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram, find me on Amazon with the book, Order in the House, Building Healthy Relationships with Broken People. I promise you will be blessed by the book. Yeah.
I think you are going to be blessed by it. I looked at like a couple of the topics. I'm telling you, when I opened it up, I got it yesterday. And when I opened it up, I'm like, yeah, this is my kind of chick right here. Because this my kind of chick. So go get her book. Listen, guys, this is Coffee Stations Around the Table with LaTanya. We are here every Thursday night. Straight talk, woman talk, straight talk, girl talk, just plain old, girl talk. It's real talk. Some days it will get raw. You can catch us here on Facebook at Coffee Stations with LaTanya. That's on our Facebook page. You can go to my website, latanyadwalker.org. Click on Coffee Stations. You can catch this episode and last week's episode and the first season's episode of what we talked about with Confidential Conversations. We are also on YouTube. So catch us on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel. It's LaTanya D. Walker. There are absolutely no O's in my name. So it's LaTanya. I thank you so much for joining us. This has been an awesome time, and we will have Cherese back because I just know that there's so much more we need to talk about in terms of women, and that's where the synergy comes in. So we will have her back for another episode of Coffee Stations. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.